Let's talk about the abacus. Now, the abacus, this is a real one, um, which is nice because as you learn to, you know, manipulate and do calculations on the abacus and make sense of the abacus, um, you also have tactile sensations reinforcing your knowledge of the abacus, muscle memory, and so on. Um, but if you can't get an abacus or you don't have access to one, there are some nice apps that I will show in a second. But let's talk about the abacus. For one, these bottom rows are worth four, there's 4 beads on each of these lower rows, but they're worth 1. Okay. So, for example, over here, if I put that one up, touching the bar, that represents a 1. Anything that's touching the bar, you count it basically. It counts. If it's not touching the bar, it doesn't count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if there's 1 bead and then you put another bead, well, guess what? That's the number 2. So that little image right there, you just learn to see that as the number 2. These up here, this top row, these are 5s, okay? And you combine the top bead with lower beads to get higher numbers higher than 4, okay? So that's 4. You got 5, and then 5 plus 1 is 6, 7, and you just learn to see these little pictures as their respective numbers. Okay, 8, 9, and then after that, after you don't have any more beads in this column, you go to the next column. Okay, so real quick, let's try something. I am going to flash a number on the screen, and then quickly I want you to try and recognize it as fast as you can. Okay, here we go. Boom, what's that number? 3, right? That number is 5. 4. All right, here we go. Next one. 6, right? Okay. Now, adding, the nice thing about the abacus is that it takes all these numbers and breaks them up into smaller parts, like we just seen. 6 is a 5 and a 1. So if you have a number like 2 and you need to add 6, well, you just see this, okay? But over here you add it, and then all of a sudden you see the picture for the number 8. Once you learn to see this picture as the number 8, math becomes a little bit easier. It's more visual because you're not really memorizing anything other than what the number looks like. You don't have to know that 8, or 2 plus 6 is 8. You just see the picture. You picture the number 6 and then you add it. Okay, does that make sense? Let's try a couple more where we just recognize the number. Okay, here we go. Boom, what's that number? The nice thing about the abacus is that it gives you a math problem in every number. 9 equals 5 plus 4. So that's like automatic knowledge to you when you are familiar with the abacus. 5 and 2 is 7. That's how you make the number 7. So you automatically know that. Or I should say, you don't even have to know it. All right, let me show you some examples. 6. Okay, I know that to be the number 6. It's just something I've become familiar with. Mine are add 3, okay, minus 6 plus 5 minus 2 plus 3, okay, minus 8 plus 6. Now I don't know what the answers were along the way, but I know that the answer is 7 at the end of the day, okay? And I wasn't really doing any math. I was just doing the pictures, okay? Making the picture in my mind. All right? So real quick, let's go over to an app, all right? And I'm going to show you some apps you can use to do this sort of, get familiar with the abacus if you don't have access to a real one. All right, let's go.